All right. Hi, Bill.
Hi, James. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being my mentor.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you for the first time. I'm glad we had this opportunity to just talk and get to know each other a little bit. I thought that might be a good way to kind of start out this first meeting. So, how about just tell me a little bit about yourself and what's your goal or what you're up to right now.
Sure. So I started from the private sector. I had a small MSP doing network services for small businesses, and then I ended up working for a larger MSP that focused only on education. And then eventually I landed a role as an augmented IT director in a large urban Cleveland area district, and really loved what I was doing there. And so I took a job down the road at Bedford City Schools where I could be the IT director full time and be a part of the community.
That's great. So you've been in business then in the past, and then moved into K-12.
Yep.
That's great. Great. Good perspective, opportunity to really see what the business side of it is and bring some of those principles into the K-12. That's super. I've got the same kind of background. I've worked in business and computer science development, software development, and then taught a little bit. I jumped into teaching for a number of years and then moved into a coordinator role, technology coordinator role in about 2001. And then in 2006 became a technology director and still am today. So a lot of common background, working in business and then being in K-12. Super.
Yeah.
A little bit about my background too is, I've worked over the course of the years to get my licensure. What I did is here at Sycamore Schools, in order to be an administration or administrator, they'd like to have a licensure. So when I became a technology coordinator, I was working on my curriculum instruction licensure. And then from there, when I renewed it, I went and got my superintendent licensure. So I figured if there's any job that I wanted to move to, I had the opportunity if it presented itself. So what about you? What's your background? Does your district require that, or have you thought about those kind of things?
For classified administrators, the district does not require you to have certification. So I have a bachelor's degree in mass communications. And right now I do have my CETL Certified Educational Technology Leader certification. And I'm in the process of getting my master's at Baldwin Wallace in education. So sort of a similar path to you. I have this position here, but for the future and for my own knowledge base, uh, I want to grow in that. I want to look at alternative pathways to licensure. Superintendent's licensure would be great to have, just as you said, for flexibility and personal growth.
Yeah, it's really interesting, James, that depending on the school or district you step in, how they view a technology director or a CTO. Some will say you need to be an administrator with a school administrator licensure, like a curriculum instruction or principal licensure, some type of licensure, because we don't per se have a licensure for tech directors, and that's something that we're hopefully working on too with our COSIN piece in the state. But they sometimes just don't know where to put us, and yet you're on a good path thinking about how do you maybe consider getting that licensure of some sort. It gives you some flexibility. I know I've got some other friends that they're a classified employee. Yet I'm in the certified space, and I needed to have a licensure as well for teaching, and then also for being an administrator at central office. But that's great. It's good background. Tell me a little bit about what Bedford City Schools is all about. I mean, what is if you were to tell me about the demographics or the footprint of the school? What do you have, or what are you working with?
Well, we have about 32 to 3,400 students. We have 6 schools. We are 90% minority and about 70% free or reduced lunch. So we're very much an inner ring next to Cleveland Metro.
Okay.
And I have previous experience with that working up at Cleveland Heights, University Heights, which is about twice the size of this district. Uh, but that's what we're looking at. We have 200 and so teachers and a lot of faculty support. Uh, we're not a one-to-one district, but we're a one-to-many in our educational technology philosophy. I would say our teachers' knowledge of technology is probably uh, low compared to some other districts that have less students or more uh, affluent students. So that's where we're at there. A lot of PD work we need to do with any initiatives that we bring to the table. So that's a little bit about Bedford.
Yeah, good. And so at Sycamore, we are about 5,300 students. A lot of our folks, P&G is right here, so we have a lot of P&G parents. Have a pretty affluent district in that respect. We have 7 buildings. I've got 4K4s, a 5-6 building, a 7-8 building, and then a 9-12 building. Demographics, we have about 55 different languages and different types of backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds that come, very diversified. We are about 14% free and reduced. So, and you rate that's about 40%, so we get the bare minimum. But 1-to-1, 5-12, we are the take home, we're 1-to-1 K4 as well, but they're in carts. And that's something we just kind of finished out this past year. So a little bit about us, trying to give you, hopefully that helps both of us get a perspective on kind of what we're coming from, the challenges we face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As far as our district as well, organizational chart, I report to my superintendent, the cabinet. We've got, a business manager that has his own department. He and I collaborate a lot together when there's infrastructure concerns and such that he has needs for. But I have my own department, technology department that's working with, I have 4 instructional people in the department, 3 technicians and a network engineer. And then I also have a part-time person who works with us in a shared service environment, assisting us with our help desk as well. So what about, how's your department for organizational structure look?
Well, from the top down, I report directly to the superintendent, and I am part of the director's extended cabinet. So they have their cabinet meeting to discuss us, and then I think we have our our directors meeting. That is more of the extended cabinet with business manager, assistant super, treasurer, and then curriculum director, people services director, special ed director. That group meets. So it was what I was looking for when I was looking for this position, to have that direct report to the superintendent. So I feel like I'm very well set up there. When we look at my department, I have 1 instructional certified teacher who's my tech coach. I have 4 technicians that service everything from the jumbotron at our stadium building to AV setups in the classrooms to help desk tickets. So those 4, it's a pretty flat organizational chart. I also have 1 assistant slash help desk person, and I have 4 library staff that have just joined up, and then a media production specialist that we call the multimedia tech that does our central office print jobs and website multimedia tasks.
Good. Maybe there's something for both of us that we share a visual of our organizational chart, our department charts, as we kind of get to know each other more, and helps us remind you as we're going through this process.
Yeah, and
reference that. I think that'd be helpful.
Yeah,
so I'll do that for you. I'll try to give you send you my organizational chart too.
And with me being new, I've only been here a year, so one of my goals last year was to really get the department, at least get the staffing up to speed with what I needed. So that was something that I'm still working on, and every district is so different. Ramping up with that has been a challenge.
Something I have learned over the last 15 years or 16 years being in this role is I have a Visio diagram since 2001 of the changing look of the department. And what we've done is I presented it to the board, and as we went across those years, in fact, I'm doing next Wednesday another presentation of the 17-18 update. And every about 5 years, we've been moving people, changing positions because of the environment we live in. It's so dynamic and changing. And so that might be something I'd be more than happy to kind of share with you too, if you like.
Great.
What do you think, James? Does that work?
Yeah.
This kind of intro? And I think you could probably, if you have a chance to maybe even just, you could make it smaller for them, but if they could watch it on their own, or they could just kind of take you could give them snippets of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it could be something we just throw in there as something to watch on their own.
Yeah, that's cool. Gosh, you've got